In the high-velocity world of modern reality television, a single performance can change the cultural landscape in seconds. But for the girl who redefined the rock and soul genre in 2018, the road to 2026 has been on. Tonight, we are deconstructing the staggering rise and the subsequent disappearance of Courtney, the 13-year-old from County Durham who stunned millions on the America's Got Talent stage. While the judges were moved to their feet by her explosive energy, a much darker narrative was already brewing within the industry shadows. Our investigation explores how the immediate industry plant accusations were just the beginning of a professional storm that nearly extinguished one of the most promising voices of a generation. As we move through 2026, the truth behind her missing years is finally coming to light, revealing a struggle for artistic survival. To the casual observer, Courtney's shy schoolgirl persona seemed like the perfect television narrative, but for the gatekeepers of the music industry, her raw talent presented a terrifying paradox. Within days of her golden buzzer moment, cynics pointed to her previous experience on The Voice Kids UK, claiming her nervous disposition was a calculated performance designed to manipulate the masses. This plant label was slapped on her before the confetti even hit the floor, creating a digital target on a 13-year-old girl. Our 2026 findings suggest that this early toxicity was a primary factor in her decision to retreat from the public eye. The industry was already trying to deconstruct her authenticity before she could even celebrate her success. This wasn't just internet noise. It was the first sign that Courtney's unpredictable energy was a threat to the polished, manufactured pop star mold. Signing a major record deal with then records should have been the ultimate victory. But for Courtney, it reportedly marked the start of a stagnation trap that lasted for years. Investigative reports from 2026 suggest that the industry machine was fundamentally at odds with the lion they claimed to discover, attempting to polish her raw grit into a generic, radio-friendly pop product. Between 2019 and 2021, Courtney effectively became a ghost in the mainstream media as she fought a silent battle for her creative identity behind closed doors. This golden cave left her in a state of professional limbo, where the very institutions that promised her superstardom were the same ones keeping her voice silenced. The untold story of this era is one of a young artist refusing to become a manufactured celebrity, choosing to wait out the clock rather than sacrifice her identity. The fundamental friction between Courtney's authentic artistry and corporate expectations created a professional stalemate that many insiders call a pop wash attempt. The label infrastructure reportedly wanted to smooth out the gravel and grit that made her unique, fearing that her too raw sound wouldn't fit the mainstream radio formats of the early 2020s. However, Courtney was a rocker in a world that wanted a doll, and she refused to budge on her sonic identity. Our 2026 analysis of her unreleased sessions from that era reveals a woman who was writing dark, complex rock tracks while being pushed to record bubblegum pop. This tug-of-war eventually led to a total professional shutdown, where she allegedly refused to sing for months at a time to prevent her voice from being misused. It was a stand for artistic integrity that few adults would have the courage to take, let alone a teenager under the intense glare of the global spotlight. While fans across the globe wondered why no significant music was being released, Courtney was reportedly caught in a legal gridlock known in the industry as golden handcuffs. Our 2026 report finds that she was bound by high-stakes contracts that gave her virtually no say in her own direction, leading to a prolonged standoff with major label executives. These restrictive agreements allowed the label to keep her from releasing music if she didn't comply with their specific vision. Rumors swirled about her mental well-being during this time, with some suggesting the pressure was so immense she considered walking away from the microphone for good. It was a heartbreaking standoff. She had the world at her feet, but her hands were tied by a legal machine that preferred she stay silent rather than be herself, effectively robbing her of her most formative professional years. Beyond the legal battles, Courtney was reportedly navigating a sensory nightmare that few child stars ever managed to survive with their mental health intact. While the public often debated whether her introversion was an act, Our 2026 investigative findings confirm that her social anxiety was a very real, paralyzing force. Reports from the late 2019 period suggest that she felt so owned by the public eye that she contemplated offing her own career just to regain a sense of personal freedom. It was a silent collapse that nearly led to a permanent disappearance, as she struggled to reconcile the private teenager she was with the extroverted the world demanded her to be. This psychological toll is the critical piece of the puzzle that explains her retreat from the spotlight, proving that her silence was not a failure of talent, but an act of psychological survival in a world that refused to give her the space to grow. Fast forward to the present day, and the 2026 rebirth of Courtney is being hailed as a monumental triumph of the human spirit over the corporate celebrity machine. Her return to the spotlight as a fully independent artist isn't just a savvy career move. It is the final stage of a multi-year healing process that required her to burn her old life to the ground. By releasing her recent project, Little Miss Jagged, entirely on her own terms, she has finally found a way to share her true, unfiltered voice without the interference of major label handlers. Our analysis of her 2026 live shows reveals a woman who is no longer trembling because she is afraid, but shaking with the sheer power of her own reclaimed agency and vocal strength. She has turned her heartbreak into a sonic weapon of defiance, proving to the world that you can survive the industry if you have the courage to walk away. In her most recent 2026 performances, Courtney has subtly reclaimed the lion label that the industry originally gave her, but she has done so in a way that the music moguls never expected. She has moved entirely away from the Joplin tribute sound and into a gritty, blues-infused rock style that is far too raw for the radio formats once envisioned for her. Investigative reporters at her 2026 tour noted that she now performs with an aggressive, predatory confidence that feels like a direct response to the years of being told to be more. By 2026, she has proven that while the industry saw the lion in her, they didn't realize that they wouldn't be the ones holding the leash. Her current sound is the definitive sound of a predator that has finally escaped its cage and is now hunting on its own terms, proving that her talent was never a fluke. One of the most impactful elements of Courtney's 2026 journey is her increasing willingness to publicly critique the reality TV machine that once acted as her biggest platform. In recent 2026 press junkets, she has addressed the shocking truth of how young contestants are often viewed as disposable assets rather than developing human beings with complex needs. While she maintains a level of respect for her initial platform, she has used her untold story to warn other young prodigies about the golden handcuffs found in talent contracts. This vocal rebellion has reportedly created a cold war between her team and the producers of the shows that discovered her, as her survival story serves as a living critique of their business model. In 2026, Courtney isn't just a singer. She is a symbol of a new era where artists value their souls more than their celebrity, proving that the real prize isn't a buzzer, but the freedom to be yourself. As we conclude our investigative report on the mystery of Courtney, the final 2026 verdict is one of absolute victory for the individual over the industry machine. She survived the weight of 1 billion views, the cruelty of global bullying, and the legal chains of a major label to emerge as the artist she was always meant to become. What really happened to Courtney? She put her mental health before her career. She put her soul before her celebrity, and against all odds, she won the battle for her own identity. Her 2026 journey is a powerful reminder that while the spotlight can be blinding and destructive, the fire of authenticity burns much brighter in the long run. The shy girl mystery is officially over, and the era of the independent rock icon has begun, leaving the mogul and the machine in her mirror. Courtney is no longer a victim. She is the architect of a legacy that belongs to her alone.